comedians tonight. Should be a good show. How many people it's your first time ever coming here? Oh, a bunch. Hell yeah, that's what I like to see. Everybody? All right, well. That's all right. Second time, you said?
Yeah.
Who'd you see last time?
You.
Me? Shit, I'm gonna have to try to come up with some different jokes. No, that's gonna be a problem. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, like I said, we've got a great lineup tonight. We got some really, really funny people gonna be up here. 5 hilarious comedians and me. So, yeah. Glad to hear a little bit of enthusiasm on that. I just, with all these different folks, I just hope nobody bombs tonight. Y'all know what that means when you bomb on stage?
They suck.
Yeah, that's when you come up here and you tell your little jokes and nobody laughs. They just sit there and stare at you. Joe Rogan once famously compared bombing on stage to sucking 1,000 dicks in front of your mother. I was discussing that with some comedian friends of mine, and this gay comedian said that that's a homophobic statement that Joe Rogan said. And I said, how do you figure? He said, well, it's implying that it's shameful to suck a dick. And I said, brother, I think you're focusing on the wrong aspect of that, okay? Because even as a gay man, I assume you don't aspire to suck dicks in front of your mother. Because I know as a straight man, if I'm getting ready to go down on some chick, I'm not going to be like, hey, Mom, come watch this shit. It's nobody's proudest moment, is what I'm saying, you know? My mom would hate that. I know my mom's looking down on me right now. She's not dead. She's just very judgmental. I think the proper term is Southern Baptist. You call it. Is that right? Yeah.
Right.
Yep. She made sure that we was in church every Sunday growing up, learning that golden rule. Y'all know what the golden rule is?
Do unto others.
Thank you. I was worried that nobody in the room has ever been to church before. Jesus, yeah, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In church, they call that the golden rule. At work, they call that sexual harassment.
Right.
That's what that write-up said anyway. I talked to my Baptist mother on the phone yesterday, and she's like, you know, Buck, if you read your Bible, all this stuff that's going on in the world right now, we're in the end times. This stuff's getting ready to wrap up. Because all the stuff that's been happening, it's in Revelations. I was like, really? Like, it's in Revelations that the Dalai Lama was going to kiss a little kid on the mouth and ask him to suck his tongue in front of a group of people? That's bold. I don't even think Nostradamus could call that one. I sure didn't think it was in Revelations. And that's terrible, but it's kind of lucky that all them other kids was there. Because if he asked him to suck his tongue in front of a group of kids, what do you think he would ask him to suck if they was alone? I think you know. I didn't even know the Dalai Lama was Catholic. I was shocked. I was like, so Revelation says that Budweiser's going to put a transgendered person on a Bud Light can and everybody's going to lose their mind? Was that in Revelations too? I mean, come on, y'all. Wherever you fall on the trans story, issue, whatever you want to refer to it as, wherever you fall on that, I think we all can agree Budweiser was pretty tone deaf in putting a transgender person on Bud Light cans. That's not exactly suitable to their demographic, right? I mean, that's like putting Donald Trump on a Colt 45 can. That shit ain't... Colt 45's great. Many people say Colt 45 does it every time. I don't do a good Trump, but I felt like it needed one there, you know? I mean, you might as well put Trump on the side of a damn bottle of tequila. That would make more sense than putting a trans person on a Bud Light can. We got any Bud Light drinkers in here tonight? Don't be ashamed, it's 2023. We're all allies, we ain't gonna judge you. That's okay, do you, man.
Judge me.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm not assuming your gender either. That person right there likes Bud Light, and we don't judge them. All right. If anybody says shit about it, we're gonna step outside. All right. Don't be like that, all right? So, kind of embarrassed I got here late tonight. Reminded me of back in the day, sneaking into class, 20 minutes late, half drunk, still high as hell, to sneak in there and put my head down on the desk and just pray nobody asked me any questions. And that's how I lost my teaching job. Don't like that. But I did always like school. Did y'all like school? Anybody? I like school. Shit. Bathrooms indoors. Plenty of people sell pills too. First vagina I ever saw in my life was in middle school biology. Shit. They throw Miss Johnson in prison for that shit now. We knew how to keep our damn mouth shut back in the day. Not these kids now. Hell no, there ain't a day goes by, you look on Facebook, there's some guy who looks like the chick from the Warren Cherry Pie video going to prison because some little asshole couldn't keep his mouth shut. Back in my day, you didn't want nobody to know. Back in my day, female teachers looked like Dusty Rhodes. You was telling them to keep their damn mouth shut. You didn't worry about me. I wasn't saying shit. You just better not say nothing. Now, I have a joke I usually say. My wife told me I shouldn't say it in light of recent events, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. All right? So, give y'all a little bit of advice so you don't have to learn it the hard way like I did, okay? If you ever get roped into going down to the school and video recording something, don't just walk into the school and announce, I'm here to shoot the kids. Because even if you got a camera on your shoulder, they're going to call the law on your ass, all right? Especially if you look like me. They will call them quick. Now, the upside to that is I'm not allowed within 100 yards of that school now. Upside to that is my brother has to take his own damn kids to school. Now the downside, people hear you're not allowed within 100 yards of the school, they just kind of assume certain shit about you, you know? And that's all bullshit, and none of them charges ever stuck. None of them, okay? So don't be assuming just because I can't go within 100 yards of school that I got some Dalai Lama shit going on, because I don't roll like that. Now, by show of hands, how many people in this room has ever been stuck in quicksand? Anybody? Now see, I'm embarrassed by how much sleep I lost as a little kid worrying about when I was going to get stuck in quicksand. Not if, when, because I'm 45 years old. I grew up in the 80s. Everybody on TV ended up in that shit. From Zorro to the Long Ranger to Luke and Bo Duke, Knight Rider, A-Team, all of them ended up in that shit. Now I'm a grown man. You put a gun to my head, I couldn't tell you where there was any quicksand. I can't even tell you if that shit's real. It may not be real, maybe more propaganda, maybe it was some of them lies they told us when we was little kids. Because you got lied to when you was a kid. I don't know if y'all put that together by now, but you know, when you was little, my age, back in my day, I didn't think I'd be old enough to start saying that shit, but here we are. Back in my day, your parents would teach you, do not ever tell a lie. It is never okay under any circumstances, for any reason, to lie to somebody. You say, why? I say, because Santa Claus is watching you. And they wonder why 80% of the population is on medication and in therapy. Because they've been lied to since day one, and they know it. That's why everybody's in therapy. Hell, I had to go to, I'm kind of ashamed to say it, I had to go to a psychiatrist. Told me that I'm paranoid. He didn't say that, but I know the sumbitch was thinking it, you know? I could tell. My psychiatrist sucks, but I got a cool doctor, though. My family doctor, he's a good guy. And that's, when you're my age and my weight, you need a cool doctor. My doctor always puts a positive spin on everything. I went in there last week to get some test results. He said, you know what, Buck? If my doctor's office was an arcade, couldn't nobody beat your high score triglycerides. He calls me the Michael Jordan of diabetes. I mean, he puts a positive spin on everything. I mean, he told me, he said, you know, if you don't get that blood sugar down, you're going to lose your feet. But think of all the money you're going gonna save on shoes, you know? So, like I said, when you're fat, you need a positive spin on things, because guess what? We don't get much positivity as fat folks. I don't know if there's somebody fat in here. This light's pretty bright. I'm assuming there's one or two more of us in here. And as you well know by now, fat people are the last group. It's still okay to talk about. You can talk shit about a fat person. You can dunk on fat people all day long. You ain't getting canceled. They ain't gonna write you up at work. Ain't nobody gonna say shit. Why is that? Because we don't raise awareness? I mean, we're not going to march, obviously. We're not going to boycott your restaurant. Shit, president of Chick-fil-A could come out this week and say, I hate all fat people. Most we'd be willing to do is cut back to eating there once a week. And they feel it. They feel it. The president of Chick-fil-A come back out next week and say, hey, when I said that about fat people, I wasn't talking about all fat people. I was just talking about the gay ones. So calm down. Calm down. Right? Most of y'all are all right. And, you know, it's not like we haven't done anything to try to raise awareness. Now, you know as well as I do, fat people was sitting down during the national anthem long before them football players started taking a knee. We tried. We did what we could, you know. Y'all are a good crowd. I like y'all. Last time I was here, don't tell them. Last time I was here, we had a shitty crowd. They weren't very fun. They weren't very fun. I'm not gonna lie. Don't tell them. Tell them I said that. But I was doing a show. I did a show a few weeks ago, and I came up on stage and told my little jokes, and it went pretty well. I went and sat down amongst everyone. This gal came on stage and started telling her jokes, and now I'll be honest, not funny. She was hot. God almighty, she was hot. She had... Not funny, not funny. And the guy in front of me starts heckling her. He's like, boo, you suck. Your jokes suck. Take your top off. Boo, show us your tits. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, I'm thinking a couple of things. One, he's right, I'd like to see her tits. But that's not right. Okay? Now, I didn't know this girl from anybody, never met her or seen her in my life. But I knew somebody had to do something. So finally I reached right there, tapped him on the shoulder, and I was like, Dad, knock that shit off, man. That's not cool, right? Freaking embarrassing. You know, I've been putting it off for quite a while. I've put it off forever. But I finally got around to writing some really funny procrastination jokes. But I'll tell y'all those next time. All right, so we gotta get another comedian up here. So get ready right now. I'm fixing to bring the stage